Yeah. So yeah, I'm a ski cross racer. If some of you don't know what that is, it's 4 at a time. And you go down a track, and it's like a mixture of alpine skiing. So you're going around turns, there's gates, but then you're also hitting jumps, going side by side with people going about 40 to 50 miles an hour. So it's a pretty entertaining sport to watch. So yeah, let's get right into it. This video is from last year.
My name is Walker Robinson. I live here at Coffee Mountain, Colorado. I do ski cross racing, and I've been lucky to call this place home for the last 9 years. Growing up here at Coffee, it's very unique, and I get to train year round in the summer and in the winter. Train a lot off the snow, biking, riding motocross, surfing. I get to train with Team Summit in the winter, and it's really nice. I have some coaches, originally started out as an alpine skier and then switched to park, and then one of my dad's friends was like, you should try ski cross racing because he loved going fast and hitting jumps. When I was like 9, did my first race, and I love this, I gotta stick to this. So I've been doing it ever since. So ski cross, basically BMX on skis, there's like a set course, rollers, jumps, turns. You know, here at Concord they have a ski cross course, and it's in the United States, it's very hard to find a resort that has one. When I'm racing, I'm pretty like focused. I don't have too many thoughts other than just win. My biggest accomplishment was actually here at Coffee Mountain last year for the USSA Nationals. I was able to take home the gold medal for ski cross racing. It was just nice having my friends and my family around just cheering me on. Right now, my main focus and goals are just competing at the NORAM level again, and hopefully representing the U.S. at the next Junior Worlds in San Pellegrino, Italy. My long-term goals is really like get those crystal globes in the World Cup and bring it home here. Being a copper athlete means so much, to be honestly, because when I was growing up here, I always used to look up at the older kids, and now I'm one of the older kids. I'm trying to give back to like the little kids as much as I can, teaching them stuff, and just like everyone did to me. So I'm Walker Robinson, and I'm a copper athlete.
Yeah, so that was kind of telling my story before last year, and this year I got to go to Gangwon Youth Olympics in South Korea, and I didn't really know what to expect. Just never been to Asia before, only been to Europe a handful of times. So we just loaded up the skis, hit the road, and luckily we made our flight. We had about 10 minutes to spare. If y'all remember, there was that snowstorm a few weeks ago, and it snowed about 2 feet. And it took us 3.5 hours to go from Copper to Vail, or to the Vail airport. So, yeah. It's a way to get your nerves rolling right before like the biggest travel day of your life. But yeah, so we made the plane, headed over there. Didn't really know what to expect in Asia, honestly. So we got there and we were greeted by one of the US team members, and he was like, yeah, so just follow us, we'll show you what to do, where to go, and how to greet people, and all that kind of stuff, which was, thankfully. I don't know any Korean, so there's a lot of help with him. Yeah, so at the Youth Olympics, there was 80 countries, 2,000 athletes, and the U.S. was able to bring home 21 medals. And just recently, Team USA has now passed the medal count, so Team USA has the most amount of medals out of any other country in the world for Olympic medals. This is right after the race. So over here on the right is the Swiss team. They're really good people. We're on the left. That's me and my teammate Morgan Schutt. She's from Maine. And then Sweden was on top. That's the medal up close. And And this is the interview that the Olympics did. Unfortunately, they didn't give us much time. So I crashed really hard in this. You'll see. And I was like, I had to get back up. And it's a really hard thought process because you go down really hard. I'm like laying in the snow for 15, 20 minutes thinking, all right, is everything okay? Can I get back up? Can I finish the race? And basically I was just like, quitting's not an option at this point. We're already here. This was in the semifinal, so the top two move on to the big final. And yeah, I'll play this video. That's a crash.
I skied down the second run, but thankfully Morgan here was able to come through, so yeah, it means a lot, I crashed in this.
Yeah, so as you can see, that's kind of a brutal crash. The video doesn't quite do the justice, but it's about a 45-foot jump, and I landed straight on flat from about 15 feet in the air. So on your back too. If it was on the legs, still would have hurt, but straight on the back wasn't the best. What happened was we were going, and if any of you guys watch NASCAR, you know drafting and how that works, you kind of get slingshotted, and the kid was behind me, and the draft on this course was really strong. And so he was coming up right behind me, and he went to pull out to pass, but he didn't pull out soon enough. So he skied right into the back of my skis, and race skis, as some of you know, are really sharp. And wherever you set that edge is going. And so when he hit my ski hooked to the left, and so that caused me to go down and him to go down. But I was like, what the heck just happened in the air? Like, this is crazy. This was like my first really big crash in ski cross. I've had other crashes and different stuff in training, but in an actual race. And so I had to go on. I was just laying, I knew I had to finish, so I bounced back up and I was like, all right, I got like 4 or 5 seconds before the pain hits me, so I got to get up, cross that line. And so I got up with one ski on, no poles, no gloves, all that was ripped off. So I just skated across the line, instantly fell over, and yeah. So I had to get back up, and the medical team was like, oh, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I guess. So went back up, and the athletic trainer checked me out, and he's like, you know what? Like, it's your call if you want to go or not. You're hurting pretty bad, and no one would be mad at you for pulling out of this race. And I was like, I've trained all this summer and all last summer, and I'm ready to go. This is the time, the place to perform. And so I pulled out of the gate, was able to cross the line. My teammate Morgan, she's really fast, so that helped us a lot too. And so Morgan came down. She passed. She was in 4th because I crashed. She passed the 3rd place, great skiing. And then the 2nd place and the 1st place got tangled up, and the German in front of Morgan fell. And so that was it. That left the door open for Morgan to go around and secure the silver. So.
Yay!
Yeah, it was a big day of racing. And the day before, we raced individual, and I was pretty fired up because I got 4th. But that's also like the hardest because you go in groups of 4s, and when you go 4th and you go 4th across the line, it sucks, honestly, because everyone else got a medal and you didn't. So I was just laying in bed that night, and I was like, you know what? We're winning this tomorrow. Like, I want a medal. I'm not leaving here without hardware. So I could have really never predicted how this went. I thought we were just going to go up, do the race, come home with a medal, hopefully. But yeah, it was super emotional, and in that video, that was literally like right after I crashed and Morgan came across the line, so I had so many mixed emotions of, I'm like in so much pain, but then all the joy, because you've been working the last few summers to do this, and you're able to represent, so yeah, it was kind of, I don't know, it's just, I've never felt that before, and to feel that in front of the camera I was kind of like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? And I was like trying to hold back the tears, but then I was in so much pain from my back. And I was just like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? So I was like, can I have 5 minutes just to like gather myself? They're like, no, you got to do it right now. Like, okay, so yeah. This is the podium picture of Morgan and I, their silver medals. That is another picture of the American flag. Yeah, and so these are my goals for this winter, next winter, and the year after. So this winter, we just went to Gangwon, got the medal, so check that one off the box. In a few weeks, we're going to Gore Mountain, New York for a NORAM. And then we're going over to Europe. So we're going to Austria, Italy, and then in Switzerland, I'm doing my first World Cup. So it'll be my World Cup debut. Yeah. And so I'm super excited about that one because one of like my idols that I look up to, Brant Cross, and it's his retirement race. So he's retiring and I'm coming in on the same race, which is cool. And then we'll come back here, train a little bit more, and then go over to Sweden for Junior World Championships in April. 2025, I want to go to Junior World Champs again and do World Cups, possibly more World Cups throughout the season than just one. I want to do at least 4 or 5. And then in 2026, I want to go to the Olympics and hopefully podium. And at that point, I want to be racing World Cup full time. And it's a long season and a lot of races, so yeah. And then this picture is actually from Switzerland 2 years ago. That was my first international race, and going into that, I didn't quite know what to think. I was like, all right, heard these Europeans are good at skiing, so we'll try and give them a run for their money. And I came second at that race, didn't know what to expect, didn't speak any languages that they spoke, so we just walked up and almost missed that race because the racer meetings are in German, or Swiss German, so you don't know what they're saying. They'll give a 5-minute speech in German and then they'll give a 5-second speech in English. They'll be like, yeah, of course it's good, go. Yeah, and so ski cross, it's not U.S. ski team funded, so all of our travel and all of our training is coming out of our own pockets and our own dime. And so sponsors really help a lot. And yeah, I'm thankful to have the sponsors that I have. Any questions?
How old are you?
I'm 17. It's still quite sore. Yeah, I went skiing yesterday and I was like, okay, I need to chill out a little bit. Yeah.
Walker, how did you get paired up with Morgan?
Morgan, so in team racing, they do the top 2 men, or the number 1 men and the number 1 female. And so Morgan was the number 1 woman and I was the number 1 man. And then my teammate, Aiden England, he was the number 2 man, and Maggie Swain, which was the number 2 girl. So yeah, the coaches were saying, all right, you two are going together. So yeah.
Is she cute?
No comment.
Who currently sponsors you?
Sorry?
Who currently sponsors you?
Yeah, so right now I have Oakley as one of my sponsors. Copper Mountain is my head sponsor. Fisher Skis, Leaky Poles, a few foundations that are helping me, and those are honestly like the biggest help. But yeah.
So if we want to find you on GoFundMe, because I can't read those numbers, can we just search for Walker Robinson?
Yeah, you should be able to. Or if you have Instagram, you can go on Instagram, type in my name. It's _Walker_Robinson, and the link's in my bio. Any other questions?
What about school? How do you handle high school and college?
Good question. So I'm a junior in high school, so I do all my schooling online because it would be nearly impossible to do what I'm doing and do school because we're gone so much. So online gives me a lot of flexibility, but I got to stay on the school. Yeah.
How many hours a week do you spend training?
Quite a few. So every day I ski, almost every day. 6 days a week I ski from 1 to 4, and then I'll go into the gym from about 4:30 to 6:30. And I do school in the morning, so.
Walker, what is it, you may not want to answer, what does it cost to support you for 1 year on the circuit?
So it just depends on how much you want to go, honestly. So if you want to keep it reeled in,
What's the total?
yeah,
Cost.
yeah. So it just depends on what level you're at. If you're a World Cup racer, you're going to be spending anywhere from $60,000 to $150,000, depending on how much you want to be training.
And that includes travel and that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's keeping it quite tight too. So.
What's your earliest ski memory?
Oh.
Your age and where you were?
My earliest memory was at Cataloochee in North Carolina, which is a little hill. It's very icy, and I was young, and I used to race the beer league with all my parents' friends. And so I was doing that for a while, and they're like, oh, you should try out the school racing. And at the time, I didn't know like what it was. I was just like, okay, I'm going to be racing kids my age. But it was the middle school race team, and I was in kindergarten. So my dad was just like, all right, just go ski, have fun. And I finished middle of the pack, so I was like, all right, maybe we could do something here. Yeah.
What was your favorite Korean food?
I don't know what it was called. I would just point to the menu and be like, this looks all right, let's do this. Yeah, I tried a few different things. I was a fan of some of it, but most of it I was like, oh, it's okay, but not again.
Hey Walker, how many races do you do? Like when you go to the Olympics, it's individual, team, mixed. How many different races?
So with ski cross, you do brackets. So in one day, you do about, if you're going to the big final, you're doing 7 race runs. Unlike Alpine's 2. So you gotta have a lot of physical endurance. And so the first day you do 7 runs, which is 1 race. The second day was team race, and you do, on that one you only did 3 because everyone was paired up. So you did 3 and then plus a big final, which would be 4. And then it just depends. I'll do anywhere from 10 to 20 races a year. Yeah. Any questions?
Thank you for those interesting insights. Some of us didn't grow up racing. I'm one of them, and it's absolutely fascinating.